She imagined one wild night. Then he made it real. Part 1. The picture in her mind. There was always one picture in her mind. Not a photograph, not a memory, but a vivid, persistent vision she painted in her imagination for years. It came like a dream, but always returned with precision. The soft lighting of an unfamiliar room, the feel of warm skin, the taste of intimacy. She didn't know where it came from or why it stayed, but it was hers, and she kept it tucked away like a secret prayer. She imagined a man, not any man, but someone who would see her, who would reach for her body but understand her soul, someone who would make her feel beautiful, wild, and free. At 22, in her final year of university, the vision never left her, not even after the heartbreak. She had once given everything: her innocence, her body, her trust to a boy she thought she loved. When it ended, it broke her, quietly, secretly. She cried alone, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she had lost more than just her virginity, maybe even the right to dream. But then, a shift. Weeks passed, the tears dried, and one morning she woke up and smiled at herself in the mirror. "You're free now," she whispered. It wasn't sadness anymore. It was possibility. And that picture, the one she imagined all her life, suddenly didn't seem like a fantasy. It felt like a promise. Part 2. The stranger from elsewhere. He arrived with spring. His name was Leo. Tall, lean, with sun-kissed skin, green eyes that shimmered like emeralds, and a crypt smile that could disarm anyone. He was there for just one semester, a student exchange from a prestigious university in Europe. Word spread quickly. He played basketball like a pro, came from a millionaire family, and always read thick books with tiny letters. But none of that mattered to her. What mattered was the moment he saw her. She was in the dance studio, lost in music, her legs stretching into a perfect split, the sunlight pouring in through the tall windows. He happened to pass by, and he stopped. Something about the way her body moved, elegant, strong, sensual, captured him entirely. He came back the next day, and the next, and finally, he asked her out. Part 3. The first spark. They met for coffee first, then for long walks through the old campus garden, where cherry blossoms had just begun to fall. He talked about his life in Vienna, about philosophy and music. She told him about her drawings, her dance, her secret dreams. But she didn't tell him about the picture. Not yet. The chemistry between them wasn't loud, it was electric in silence. He looked at her like she was the only woman in the world. And when he brushed a strand of her hair behind her ear one evening, she felt her breath catch. On their 5th date, under the stars, he kissed her. Just like in the vision, slowly, gently. Then with hunger, she gasped when he bit her lower lip just a little. The sensation ran through her spine. Her body recognized him. Her mind whispered, "He's the one." Part 4. The night her vision came true. It happened during the student graduation party. They left early, walked through the quiet streets, hands touching, laughter echoing into the dark. Her heart was pounding, not with fear, but anticipation. They entered his rented apartment, lit only by a dim lamp and the moonlight pouring through the windows. He kissed her like she was a secret he had waited a lifetime to uncover. His fingers traced her skin like poetry. Her shirt slipped off her shoulder. His lips followed, down her neck, to her chest. Then lower. She didn't need to tell him. He moved exactly as she imagined. Every kiss, every pause, every sigh, just like the picture in her mind. He kissed her breasts gently, like they were made of silk, as if he could drink from them the sweetness of her dreams. She moaned softly, overwhelmed by the familiarity of something that had never actually happened. And then he turned her around, knelt behind her, and kissed her lower back. then even lower. Until she gasped and cried out. The pleasure was unlike anything before, liberating, consuming. That night, they didn't sleep. They explored, talked, held each other. And in the morning, just as she once imagined, she slowly slipped under the blanket while he slept beside her. Her lips touched him first, then her tongue, then slowly, teasingly, she tasted him like a fruit she had always wanted. He awoke with a groan, not believing it was real. God, this is crazy, he whispered, heart racing. I've never woken up like this. Ever. She didn't speak. She just smiled, her lips still wrapped around the man who had unknowingly stepped into her. Dream. Part 5. The aftermath. He left 2 months later. They knew it was coming. His program ended, and she had exams. They cried but didn't beg. They promised to stay in touch, and they did, for a while. Video calls, birthday texts, some late-night confessions. But life moved, as it always does. Still, that night stayed with him. He mentioned it once in an email 2 years later. I still think about that morning, that moment. It was unforgettable. She smiled when she read it, because it wasn't just unforgettable, it was inevitable. She had manifested him. Part 6. The belief now. 5 years later, she teaches yoga in Bali and paints at night. She still believes in the law of attraction, not because of a book or a guru, but because she lived it. She dreamed of a man who would awaken every part of her mind, body, soul. She visualized his touch, his voice, the way he'd kiss her like he needed to taste her. Dreams. And it happened. Not forever, but exactly as she needed it to. Passionate. Intimate. Liberating. Some people chase love for years, hoping to feel something real. She found it once because she dared to imagine it in full color. Sometimes, she still sees that picture in her mind, not out of longing but as a reminder. Of who she was, of who she became, and of how wild, crazy and unforgettable one night can truly be. When the universe decides you're ready.